we had failed 3 pushes up here, and we started to accelerate. So as we accelerated up, I bought 60 shares, but just looking for 10 cents. So I bought again there after the bar closed with a solid bull bar, but I may have bought a bit too big because I was trading the same size as I bought up here, but the risk is much bigger now. So we'll see what we get. I think this bar is a reasonable buy the close, so it's okay, but I'm in 60 shares at 26, so risking about $30 instead of 25. Obviously, I won't let that get hit, so it's not a huge deal, but I don't like to risk more than my set amount. I'm just gonna look to close this one out, break even if possible. Um, I can sense myself feeling uncomfortable with the bigger size, even though I think it's a very reasonable trade. Um, I tried to convince myself to stay in because I know that this is a trade that I take often and it's a very reasonable one. Um, but something about just a little bit of exercise just really got to me there. Okay, I bought again with my correct size. I'll have to exit below this bar if it closes on its low, and I'll exit with a smaller loss here if we get up there. Alright, so down $13. That was a tough situation. I made $6 on the first trade, and then the second one I took, this bar closed on its high, so for me that's a buy the close. But we were really close to this lower high, but I don't look at those, like that doesn't usually stop me from taking it, so I didn't want to shy away from it today. So I took it, but I realized that I took it with the same size. So I still thought it was a good trade while I was in it, but I just felt nervous about it because I was in too heavy. And so I exited that, but then my next rule is that if we get a buy the close bar in a situation like this, and we get a follow through bar with a bull body, then that's also buy the close. Because my premise is that after the breakout and follow through, despite being high in a potential trading range, we usually won't get two bear bars closing on their lows. So even if we get one bear bar closing on the low, we'll probably come back up and test the high close. And so that was, after the follow through, that was a buy the close for me. But after making $6 and getting out of this one break even, the second one, I just felt like I don't want to take any more trades because I'm rushing a lot. I felt like I was rushing a lot, and I'd already made $6, which is pretty decent for my first trade. But I knew the right thing to do for me, that I had planned to do, is if we get breakout and follow through, I have to buy the close. And so I didn't really think much about it, and I just said, this is the plan. If it goes without me, I'm gonna regret it because I've looked at many charts where that is the plan for me. And so I just made sure that I did it, and I bought the close with reasonable size, 50 shares. So I was risking $25, and it got to 34. So I ended up getting filled at 329.25, and my target was at 329.35. And I went to 329.34, stalled, and then went quickly outside down. But my next rule is that if I buy the close after a breakout and follow through, the first bear bar cannot be an exit because it often just gets one bear bar and then tests the high close again. So I couldn't exit after the first bear bar. Then we got the second bear bar closing on its low. That is the exit for me, to exit below the second bear bar closing on its low. And that's what I did. So in terms of my management of what I plan to do in these kinds of situations, I think I managed it well. As frantic as it was, within all that chaos, I found myself actually acting the way I was supposed to act, and exited at the right time. Now, whether that's correct or not, I don't know, but it definitely is in accordance with my plan. So there may need to be some rule adjustment, like clearly buying right at this lower high might not be the best idea. despite the breakout and follow through. Or maybe it's an exit below the first bear bar. That I'm not sure about. But in terms of the rule change, I don't know. But in terms of the execution, I actually thought it was decent.